Hello, everyone. This is the Megalo Box discussion. We're going to be talking about the last episode. My name is Jeff. I'm joined by Coby and Torie. Say hello, Coby and Torie.
Hello, Coby and
Hi.
Torie.
Hello, Coby and Torie.
That never gets old.
It's a classic
So
joke.
We're on the last episode, and Coby, I mean, do you think we should give a rundown, or should we just go into it?
I mean,
do we even need a rundown?
If we run down to it, we're going to get to it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we need a rundown. I know my rundowns have become historic and iconic on this, but I think
It's a
this time
staple now.
we can forego it because there's not a whole lot to run down. They just fight.
Yes.
Yuuri and Victor. I always say Victor.
Victor.
Yuuri and
is this?
Gearless Joe fight. I forget the main
Victor.
protagonist's
Yuuri and
freaking
Ice
name
again.
all the time.
We get this show mixed up with Yuuri and Ice a lot, I feel.
I think so too. I'd rather watch that one.
It's weird because they have two opposite stylistic choices. Because one's really gritty and the other one's like super like
Bright
and bubbly.
But it's
just
just
the name
because
Yuuri.
they couldn't think of another Russian name besides Yuuri that I get these mixed up.
Yeah. All right, so Yuuri versus Gearless Joe. What did you guys think of the fight?
Eh.
Eh.
I like that it went on for at least some time.
Yeah, I like that too. I think we even mentioned that most of the matches end by round 4 or something. So that was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, 13 rounds.
13 rounds and they go all out. So that it is true because we were kind of wondering that because we weren't entirely sure if there was any time limit to these matches thanks to that icon that says like round unlimited. So we didn't know, but now I guess we have confirmation that they'll just go forever because why not?
Yeah, it goes until TKO, it looks like.
Is it called TKO? It's just called KO.
Well, I guess either or. I guess I don't know my boxing terms. TKO is like
It's
total
technical.
knockout. So
yeah,
I
it's
guess
technical knockout. I thought.
So that's like they're just out, and then knockout is like they're down for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You actually knock them out.
Yeah. So okay, here's my gripe with the fight. You know the old saying, "Show don't tell."
Yes.
I think they kind of ditched that in this fight because the fight starts not at round 1 but at round 4, and it starts with the commentators describing what has happened so far. They say things like, Gilles Joe's holding on, Yuri's still in top shape and putting the pressure on him. And it's like, I think that would have been nice to actually see the first opening moments, just to, because I mean, I think we kind of already expected how the fight would go on. Yuuri would have the advantage for a while, and then Gilles Joe would rise again. But I think it would have been interesting to see how it would have opened up, like how they would have like felt each other out, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, but they basically just skip that and they tell us what's happened, and then they do that a lot during the fight. Like as they're boxing too, like the commentator will be saying, pretty much describing what's exactly on the screen. When I think the moment could have been just as good without any of that shit. So yeah, I think again this is one of those restrictions of time. I guess they're just trying to get to the cut to the chase as quick as possible, basically.
But I think we watch enough of this show that we as an audience can tell what's going on. I don't think anything that the commentators mentioned was very like.
It wasn't insightful or anything. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, like we can see what's happening on the screen. Like, I feel like they should have just let the moment play out. We should have just seen. How about no commentators? How about just like straight up, they're slugging each other, they're feeling each other out.
Or if any information needs to be fed, it would be from Yuuri or Gearless Joe.
Yeah,
himself.
let's get into their heads. Let's get into what they're thinking, which we kind of did a little bit towards the end of the fight. But yeah, I don't know. I think they didn't invest as much into the fight as I thought they should have.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but like my thing about that is name a sports anime that doesn't have commentative individuals on the side dictating what's happening during the final match. I mean, I think that's every sports anime. I think that's just like a normal thing for me. I can't think of, I mean, there might be a few, but there's usually commentators and coaches on the side. And I did think, like, now that I thought to myself during this match, like, oh, now that Pops is blind, he needs stuff, like, especially explained to him. I'm just like, oh, that's directly for the audience, and that's, like, no other reason why. But I agree with you that we started the fight at a weird place, and they showed you some. They started at a place where it would have been better if we started at the beginning. Like, I really wanted to see Gearless Joe's reaction to Yuuri not having any gear, but we had to skip over that and just get straight to the fighting because there just simply wasn't enough time, which is unfortunate.
My only thing about the commentating is that if they would have done that throughout all of the Megalo Box scene, I mean, even in the last match that Joe fought, they didn't have any commentating. That wasn't a normal thing. And I know this is the final match and everything, but if it was something that we were used to, I think it would have been better. But with people talking over as we're trying to see this fluid fight going on, I just think it takes away from the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it is kind of a staple that there's a commentator on the side. But I think it's you. I mean, I complain about it no matter what. You know,
yeah.
Whether it's in this sports anime or the sports animes. And you know what? I'm going to keep
complain
complaining about it until there's a sports anime that maybe does it sparsely or not at all. I'm just going to keep complaining about it. But I would even say that usually in like final matches, I would think there's not as much. I mean, think about, I guess, in Haikyuu. Usually during the big matches, it's really focused on the moment-to-moment plays and not really the people on the sidelines. They really only give the most of the sidelines in between, say, like points or sets or something like that. But here, it's actually commentating during the match, which is kind of distracting. And again, this is the big fight. I feel like it should be more. The two fighters on the screen should be respected more, and I don't think they did that. So yeah. And in terms of the quality of the fight itself, I mean, it was basically what we said it would be, and I'm not surprised. I'm not even really disappointed. It's basically Joe gets punched a lot, and then he punches back, and who wins the fight, guys? Do you guys know who wins the fight?
Joe.
I didn't know until the very end.
Till it flashes on screen that Gearless Joe's like 7-0, no losses.
Yeah, you know what they did? They pulled up Ping Pong the animation on us. Because it's the exact same thing happened at the end of Ping Pong the animation.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so like they have this intense fight between two rivals, and they don't show the conclusion. They flash forward, show where everyone's at, and then at the very last frame, they reveal who the winner was. And Ping Pong the animation did it much better, of course. But
why?
Because well, first of all, I like the characters of Ping Pong the animation more.
That's true.
So I was more invested into what was going on and what happened in their lives. And I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna give this. Hang on. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna give this anime an excuse of it being short on time constraints. Actually, I know I've been saying that, but now that I think about it, Ping Pong the animation is like pretty much the same exact length. In fact, I think it might be an episode or two shorter, and it was still able to tell a much tighter story, and made me care about the characters a lot more. So you know what? Megalo Box doesn't even get that.
Doesn't even get that.
Sorry, Coby.
No, I was just saying, I agree with you, and for the answer of why Ping Pong did it better is because this ending, the one that they teased about the fact that, who died in it, that would have been so much better. I was actually impressed by the fact that it seems like, first, that Victor died. Not Victor, not fucking Victor. That Yuuri died in the match, and I was like, okay, that's good. And then it kind of seemed like Gearless Joe died instead. So I was like, that's also pretty cool. I can respect that. It's like, but don't bullshit me, show. Don't you dare try to pull. There he is fixing his fucking bike. They're both okay.
You know what? Before we watched this anime, we realized the title of the show, and of the episode, and Jeff and I were like, whoa. Why did we not make the connection that every single title has the word death in it, which we talked about before, but it's like they've been hinting at, someone's going to die at the end because of each of the title sequences. Like, oh my gosh, we didn't say that in our podcast everywhere. Someone's going to die. But no.
Yeah, and not only that, in the intro, the OP, there's Gearless Joe being represented as like this junk dog, scrappy guy, wolf thing. And there's a short shot where the camera pans up and you see the dog that he's being represented as, and he's on the floor bleeding to death. So it's like, it looks like that's what's going to happen to Joe. Like it's foreshadowing, everything's foreshadowing to him dying essentially.
And the cynic in me says, I know this can't be the case because I'm sure production was wrapped up way before this was complete. It's not like they're still making episodes before the first episode aired or anything. But in my mind, I pictured it as when this show first started, like the story they initially planned was that an open and closed story. Now with Joe dying or Yuuri dying, and then that being the end of it. But then this show kind of exploded. This show is like one of the most popular of the new season. A lot of people are talking about it. So like the way that they in my mind they changed the ending and left it more open ended for it with like the announcement of a second Megalo Box tournament, and then both of them still alive at the end, and Joe saying like, "Oh, I still got this," and I immediately thought, man, this story would have been so much better if it wrapped up and he died instead of them leaving it kind of open-ended where it could easily be renewed for a second season and they would still have a story to tell.
That is a really interesting point. I'm really curious now. I want to look into that and see if everything was basically wrapped up by the time the episodes were being released. But yeah, I mean, it would be kind of worse if it wasn't, because then it's just like an open-ended show for no reason, and with everything leading up to basically nothing. You know what I mean? Like if they if they planned that at the end, psych, he's not dead kind of thing, then that would just be even shittier. Because then it's like they don't even really know how to like end their own story kind of thing.
Yeah, but let's talk about, I guess, the theme. What do you think they were trying to go for at the end? Because I think it either went over my head or they just didn't do it well enough. With Joe at the end dancing and saying like, "Oh, it looks like I can do this," and he was.
Oh yeah, that's how it ends.
That was the worst ending I've ever seen.
And that would have made sense if his character arc from like the beginning of it was like that he hated boxing, that he hated the movement, but he was just this reluctant boxer who was good at it. And if he started the story as a guy who was just in it for money, right, and he didn't find the joy in it, and if he was on Nanbu's side, I'm creating a whole new Megalo Box story here. If he was on Nanbu's side from the very beginning of it, like he liked throwing fights, and then these guys get an opportunity to throw the biggest fight of the century and make a ton of money, and then along the way, Joe realizes the fact that, hey, you know what? It's like, I'm kind of good at this. I'm actually doing something good. I think I can do this on my own. And then it results in the final fight. So then the final shot of him dancing is like, oh, I think I can do this. And like being loose and happy with his life instead of just this wandering stray. That would mean something,
Mm-hmm. Or how about not even boxing? How about just dancing?
Yeah, it's like Nanbu related all the boxing moves to dancing, and he just thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like he always said, concentrate on your feet work, which could have been an easy way to say it's just like dancing.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, but they never mentioned it, so
yeah,
with him dancing at the end.
Yeah.
No dancing at all. It's just like, oh, this is a weird way to start an episode with him dancing. It's like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's like, why?
If they just tossed in a scene, just toss that scene in like the first episode. There you go. Then it's like a lot better.
Yeah,
that's it.
First episode, Nanbu's like dancing, and he's just
and he's drunk and shit.
Yeah, and he's like, and Gearless Joe or Junk Dog at the time, when it's just like looking at him like weird, like what are you doing? And
weird old man dancing.
And then and then they have a shot where they show the dance moves relating to the footwork when he's teaching him how to practice.
Karate Kid.
But
moment.
You don't realize that until the very end when
that'd be great.
Joe is dancing.
Man. We're so good at writing anime.
What do you guys in Yuuri's final line to Joe? I was wondering how the translation, if that didn't play as well, because in the English translation, when they're both standing there, he goes, "You're going, aren't you?" And I thought that was a really weird line.
Yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about that. I think it was. Was it about him dying again? I think it was just another foreshadow of. Another misdirect of like, oh, he's gonna die, you're going, as in like, you're leaving planet Earth?
I thought it meant as in like, you're gonna keep on going. Like, you're still at it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I know that line just didn't make too much sense to me.
Right. Okay, the other thing, so President Shirato, apparently has been developing this gear for military use. What did you guys think of that reveal?
That was
also
a lame.
Very.
Go ahead, Torie.
I was just gonna say that was also very like off-putting and just weird.
It was
Like,
out of nowhere.
It's like a resolution that we didn't need. Like the
That's
ending
true.
of this was supposed to be Joe and Yuuri. Why are we segueing to these military people we don't know about this gear that she's selling that we didn't really need to know where that was going?
Yeah, I would have been happy with just like, yeah, it's just like technology. It'll help people. Yeah, I can believe that. But yeah, they had to specifically talk about it being about, oh, you can use this for soldiers in battle, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
And
she
they-
had to
they
make
could've
it was all to make like the thematic point that just like, oh, well, no, you don't need weapons. Her point was like it's not the weapon, it's just to enhance a soldier's life. Like it shouldn't be on its own thing. Like the soldier is the main thing about it, not the gear. So it doesn't matter if you put weapons on it. It's all about the person operating it. But that was lame. I thought the same thing. I was like, every time, because we haven't spent any time with Shirato or really understand what she wants or needs, I thought that took away from the final fight. Like, I didn't need that resolution. Even though they explained that story beat about the fact that she was developing this gear for military, and like she had a big deal on the line with this, and Yuuri threatened to implode that because he wasn't wearing his gear during a match when she was touting that it was. But I didn't care. Like I didn't need a resolution to that. If she didn't appear in the episode, I probably wouldn't have questioned it.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
Yeah, there was a shot. So before they segue to the military talking and, bringing this as a weapon, they just showed a shot of her in the car, not at the match. If they would have just only left that shot there, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, just like, oh, she's not there to watch it.
Yeah,
because
she's not there.
pissed
She's
off.
support on it. Yeah, This is their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so Coby, earlier you were talking about like what the theme was.
Yeah.
I think the theme was basically carpe diem. Like they explained the meaning of carpe diem in the beginning of the episode, which is seize the day, and I guess that's the theme. Like, because in the beginning there was a lot of like gambling motifs, right? Like, kind of like, oh, bet your life on this. It's a huge gamble, taking off your gear. Oh, you're coming in illegally, that's a huge gamble. I'm gonna bet my life on this. I'm gonna bet my skill on you, etc., etc.
Bet the gear, integrated gear.
Yeah, exactly. Betting your life on this thing. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's one of the themes, like laying your life on the line, gambling something of value to get what you want, kind of thing. And I guess that ties into carpe diem, just like seize the day. You want to be number one boxer? There's a way.
You
You're not allowed
gotta
in.
find something you're
There's a way.
passionate about. You got to keep at it. You got to find a worthy opponent.
If it's punching things, you can do it with robot arms.
Now teaching kids to do it.
Yeah, now teaching kids
guess.
how to have robot arms.
Yeah, I guess so. Nanbu has his own gym now again, which I guess he trains only kids.
How the hell does
like
he
a
do
kid
that
camp.
without any eyes? How did he do that?
Because
Well, he was pretty good at
he
doing
can
that.
Hear.
Yeah, he has his hands on the ring.
He's not gonna be like, Johnny, stop picking your nose.
It's fine. You can pick his nose. There's no rules against that in Megalo Box, I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised that there's still a Megalo Box tournament. Are you guys surprised about that too? Because the final fight of the last Megalo Box, or Megalonia, whatever, was two gearless people duking it out. I would think that would kind of discredit the whole Megalonia thing, like, forever. Because it's like, the final match wasn't even about people with robots.
I don't know. I think it was still hyped enough for everybody. There's a lot of people there looking at it.
I know, but I still think they should have invented a new sport
Called box.
called box. Yeah.
But then, so Joe won, and then he immediately vacated the title. That's what happened? He's like, he didn't accept it. Or do you think they didn't give it to him because he wasn't a real citizen?
Maybe. That could be it.
Maybe.
That could be it. He
Or
won,
he didn't need it.
but I don't know. I think that's a good. I think that's probably more likely is that, like, because he was illegitimate, they couldn't technically give him the title, but he still won technically.
They don't give titles to people who go around paralyzing other people. So that's,
Oh yeah, what was up with that? So he punched him so hard that his legs got crippled.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's kind of they need to explain that better. Like, maybe like taking the gear off like really fucked up his system. Or
Well, he did say that during the boxing match, or somebody commentated on that
If he sits down, he'll never be able to stand up again. Oh, well, I guess the gear was attached to his spine,
yeah.
so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so he got knocked down and was never able to stand up again.
Before the end, when they tell you that Gearless Joe wins, did you guys think it was a tie? Or like it played out like Rocky, like you guys said?
Like
I thought they punched each other so hard. I almost did, but they faked us out.
It would have been cool if they both died. That would have been great. I would have given this a great. I would seriously give this a glowing review if they're like, man, that means something that they both died in the ring for something that they really believed in. I'm like, I can respect that.
Me too. I thought that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and I would have been like, wow, that's actually
we're
kind of cool.
talking about it by Yuuri saying that when you're ready for death, you've been training for it. You know, it's not that bad. And so, what was that about?
Yeah, it was all.
They're fine.
Ugh.
Yuri's just paralyzed.
I have to think that the writers of the show, they were like, you know what? People are going to love our characters so much, and they're going to be so invested in them that they're going to be so happy when they found out that these characters are actually not dead. So let's fake them out. Let's make them feel really sad, and then make them feel really happy because they love our story. They love Gearless Joe. They love Yuuri. It'll be perfect. That's how we're going to end it. And I had to say, if that's how it went down, they got to do a little bit better on the character writing, I think.
They do.
I think this... Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't know if Gearless Joe is just... He's just not that great of a protagonist. Like, he brought down this whole show. But then again, I don't know if that's like the point of his character. If he's supposed to be like this blank slate, you know, that of anybody, but it's just they didn't do it very well, in my opinion, and I guess in our opinion.
I don't think so.
We'll probably do this for you guys. Will do this for Anime Ricochet, but isn't this based off of something like?
That's true. I believe it is based off of an older either manga or anime series, and they kind of like updated it with the robots, I think.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll do some research.
We will
for
talk
that
about
for
that.
Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite? What was your guys' favorite part?
Maybe.
Of the ending or of the whole
of everything
show?
Of the episode.
Of the episode.
Favorite part of the episode? Probably when I thought they were dead.
My favorite part was, I think it was when they're in the ring talking to each other. Just him and Joe and Yuuri.
Oh, when it like froze and like it was kind of reminiscent of like their first match, I guess, in the rain and the first episode, like when the rain coming down and like froze around them. You mean that?
Yeah.
Oh, it all comes together.
I like the moment. I did like the moment where Shiro gave Yuuri a water bottle.
Oh, right. That was a good moment. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, related to that, I wish there were more character interactions between Yuuri and the other characters. Like, I think if you have, especially if you have a small cast, but even if you have a big cast, I love unexpected character encounters. You know what I mean? Like, Yuuri and Sachio, I think, is perfect. But I think it would have been cool to see Yuuri and, I don't know, like, Nanbu. That would have been cool to see them interact with each other.
That only works, in my opinion, if the characters are fully developed, where like you're excited about seeing these personalities bounce off one each other because you know they have differing opinions and viewpoints of the world. So I think that only works like if the characters have depth to them. But yeah, Nanbu. So it's like anything with Gearless Joe and Yuuri didn't really work as well as I thought they thought it would. But I think Nanbu and you're right, Nanbu and Yuuri would be really cool.
Well, I mean, I liked it when Gearless Joe and Yuuri were having their conversation. Like, it does work better when the characters have more depth to it, but I think even when they're as shallow as characters in here, little moments like the ones we saw in this episode between Sachio and Yuuri, and between Gearless Joe and Yuuri, when Gearless Joe was talking to Yuuri after his fight, and he was like, man, I really liked it when you got him with that hook or whatever. Even little moments like that, I think it's opportunities for them to be more fleshed out. And that's why I think that would have been. I love things like that because even if there's not much depth to them, they're given depth from the interactions. Like you really only see who people are from the interactions with other people. So I think more of that would have been cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say because that's the only depth that we've gotten from these characters.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's when they're interacting with each other.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. So I gotta like him, I guess.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know.
I don't like the ending. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I agree. I don't like it either.
I don't know. When they like flash forward a year later and I don't know. It's just so weird.
Everything? Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I think I've realized that so throughout this whole series, the tone has been kind of somber and dark and gritty, and then at the very end, it's all hopeful and happy and optimistic, which isn't itself inherently bad, but I think I would have liked a more bittersweet ending, because I think that would be more in line with the tone of the show, and it would have made everything more interesting. But to have a completely 100% happy ending for a show like this is kind of, it feels wrong.
It does. Because, I mean, if I know that Nanbu and Joe have been fighting their whole life, and it's nice for them to take a break. But, you know, it's like that saying with the scorpion and the...
Why did you sting me, Scorpion?
Yeah, it's part of my nature. Yeah, it's part of my nature. So it's part of their nature to always be like this. And I don't know, it's weird seeing Joe wear a sweater and
delivering things
with some goggles on.
He had a what is that, bandana?
With that one dude who I don't really know who he is. Like
yeah. Does he fix his motorcycle or something? I think that's.
But
all
he
does.
lives there. Is he like his roommate? I don't know.
Oh yeah, he did live there for a bit.
I don't know.
Where does he live now? I guess he lives in the gym. And then they're just chilling on the beach and playing fetch with a dog.
Yeah, for some reason Sachio and Yuuri are hanging out together.
Yeah, does Sachio live with Yuuri?
Well, because he gave him his water bottle. That's how they became friends.
So it's like a house elf, Harry Potter rule. Like if you give a water bottle to someone, they own you now.
He has to follow him around.
Yeah, and then like Sachio brought fruit that Nanbu grows. Like,
oh yeah, he has a garden now.
What?
Yeah.
Why? That's just they symbolize the garden as something like fruitful and growing, and things are growing together. But it's just.
Yeah, it doesn't match the tone of the rest of the series, of the rest of the show.
You know what, to be honest, I don't know. Like, maybe because this season just introduced a lot of stuff, maybe they're gearing up for a bigger story. Like, maybe this does supposed to have a season 2. Like, they planned it from the beginning, and that's the story they actually wanted to tell. So this was all just groundwork. So, and maybe that will be great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty shitty groundwork.
But yeah, because if everything has a happy ending, there's nothing more that you really need to fight for. So I don't think it's setting up for much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the show was disappointing. The ending was disappointing, and that's all I have left to say, honestly.
Yep, I agree.
That better not be all you have left to say, because we have more to say on Anime Ricochet.
Yeah, it's our podcast where we talk about sports anime. If you enjoy this, you'll enjoy that. So check out our YouTube channel, or wait until that episode comes out, whenever it does. Probably the next week or 2 weeks.
Yep. So yeah, thank you guys very much. If we're done, I don't know if that was a wrap up or.
That was good. Keep going.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you guys very, very much. Just listen to exactly what Jeff just said. You can find us at NerdBlaze on YouTube. We have a bunch of cool videos. You can find us on Twitter at the NerdBlaze. Once again, I'm Coby.
I'm Torie.
And I'm Jeff.
I did that just to throw you guys off to see what you would do.
You almost made me forget my name.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. And we'll be back later with some more anime reviews of hopefully better animes.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
See ya.